It's amazing because some of you are people who've been on this journey with us for a long time, even when Rescued Hearts was just an idea. Some of you may have just met us over the weekend. We were at a quite a large conference, and we were able to share the trailer. I want to talk a bit about that in a minute. And then others that are in this room are very, very special to us because you have shared the film with your community, or you're going to share the film with your community. So, you know, for those of you who've known us or don't even know us at all, for those of you who've just believed in Rescued Hearts and have had this trust in us, we're so grateful. And what a gift it is to ground together and have the sacred time with you. I'm really excited to share what I consider like a love letter to this community or a gift as we enter 2026. And so that's coming soon. But first, for those of you who maybe are new to our community or new to Rescued Hearts, we thought we should probably introduce ourselves. Like, who are we? So I just want to share, my name is Chrisanna Sexton, and I call myself the director of Rescued Hearts. It's a very interesting term because really Dana was probably a much more powerful director in this film. But also, what I like to say that I find very funny is that horses really directed this film. Like, I wasn't doing any directing. For those of you who are horse people, you know, they're going to do whatever they want. And so, really, we just sort of let the energy and love lead the way in creating this film. But what I know in my bones as a filmmaker is that I am interested in creating films that heal. And I am very interested in authentic storytelling that I consider medicine for the heart. So that is our production company. It's called Live Wild Films. And that's what we're about. We're about creating films that are medicine for the heart. So you could always check out our website if you're interested in anything else that we've worked on. But Dana, I'd love for you to introduce yourself too.
So I am the producer of Rescued Hearts. I'm Dana Crozier. I'm also Chrisanna's not only partner in filmmaking, but partner in life. And when I met her 9 years ago now, she has always been in video production and filmmaking. And I was so intrigued because she would share things with me that she created and I would just cry. And I thought, how did this person like evoke so much emotion through a video? And so I would help her on any shoot or opportunity, things where she was going to do any type of storytelling. I would just ask to tag along. And before you know it, the day she handed me a camera, I had a feeling my life was going to forever change. I was in corporate America for all of my career. I was in a senior level, like financial crimes, very analytical leadership role. And I had an unfortunate but very important health crisis and two unsuccessful spine surgeries in 2020 that changed my life forever. In fact, we have a film that follows part of that journey and 18 other people we took on healing journeys with us. That film is called Love Heals, and it's on PBS and a streaming platform called Gaia. It was our first feature film that we created together, and it just did incredibly well. And I realized as a producer of creating documentaries, I found my actual calling in life. And so we are fortunate enough to get to work together. And during that time frame, and many years ago, I used to volunteer with kids and horses at a therapeutic riding center, and something imprinted on me, and I was witnessing what I would call miracles. And because of that, after Love Heals was done and we decided we wanted to continue creating films that really open people's hearts and spread healing in this world, I told her I wanted to create Rescued Hearts. Like, the name of the film was already in my heart. It was something that just came to me. And I thought, there's something here that I want to explore about the healing power of the horse-human connection, the miracles, the mystery, and some of the science behind it. And I'll never forget the day because Chrisanna looked at me and she was like, well, I'm afraid of horses. And I'm like allergic to animals and grass and all kinds of things. And so I share that because the truth is, creating Rescued Hearts is like a miracle. The fact that it took 2.5 years, 5 countries, 31 cities, and our entire hearts and souls. And the film came together so beautifully. So, so that's who I am. And I'm really glad that you're all here with us today.
The truth is, we're very, very excited to share this film with you. but I wanted to just offer kind of our intention for our time together. And that is a couple things. First, we want to give you some updates. We want to tell you sort of where we're at in the Rescued Hearts journey as we've entered a new year. And we've been sharing the film for about 6 months. And then we're going to transition to the short film, which is a little bit less, it's like more like 9 minutes. I kept saying 10 minutes, but it's a little over 9 minutes. But I trust that will land in your heart beautifully. And then we have at the end of that film is this brand new song that no one has heard unless you were live with us in November in Newport Beach with Free Reign. No one has heard this song. So I'm excited for you to experience it. And we invited Brianna and Myra, who are with us. They're like the co-composers of this song. Brianna Tam was a composer of our film, and she's just been on this incredible journey with us. So we're excited to hear from them because also they have some really interesting unfoldings and how working on this film has like landed in their heart, and even they've sought out connection with horses, and it's sort of impacted their artistry in a really beautiful way. So I'm excited to share about that. And then we'll have a time of Q&A at the end. But first, I love to ground in story. And so I just want to share that over the weekend, we were at this event. And isn't this picture so cool? A friend of ours took it. We were at this event. It was like 500 people. It's called Celebrate Your Life. And it was a conference that is not a horse conference. It's kind of a conference for people who are seeking like alternative modalities for healing and spirituality. And one of the speakers, or one of the experts that's in our film, Greg Braden, was there speaking. Our friend Anita Morjani, who wrote the book Dying to Be Me, was there speaking. And they invited us to come. Dana had this download the morning, like the second morning we were there, and she said, "We're going to share our trailer today." And I was like, "No, we're not." They have this whole event, they have this whole agenda. We're not sharing our trailer. She's like, "Yes, we are. Go ahead and put it on a thumb drive. We're going to share a trailer." Because people, I know people here will love this film. And so we arrived at the event, and she bumped into the event coordinator, our friend Liz Dawn. And the truth is, Liz was at a screening on 11/11 here. She helped us with some of the like logistics of it. And she watched the film, and she told us her whole life changed. And she is not a horse person. But after she watched the film, she actually felt compelled to start volunteering at a local rescue where we live, like in Phoenix. And she told us, like, "I'm just changed. I'm, all the words, right? I don't even want to put words in her mouth, but she expressed like through tears how much the film really impacted her. And so she was excited to share the trailer. When we shared it, it was to like, 500 people, and the room just shook. Like, I looked around and people were sobbing is an intense word. Dana says I over exaggerate, but people were sobbing watching the 2.5 minute trailer. People for the whole rest of the day and into the next day would come up and grab us. Some people held us and just like cried. Others would grab us with tears in their eyes and say like, "Thank you for making this film. I don't even know what it's about, but it's calling me, and I need to share this film with my community." And like I said, these are mostly not horse people. And so I wanted to share that because that is a small picture of what we've experienced for 6 months. Except now we're seeing that it's a tsunami, like the energy is building. There's a wave that's growing of energy. And I think the film is touching hearts that it's meant to. And even through the trailer, people are experiencing something. And so we're kind of just following that energy, and we're excited to talk more about what's in store for those of you who feel called to bring that energy to your community. But what a gift it was to have that experience. Dana, what was that like for you?
It was magical. I literally had people coming up to me after they saw the trailer. Like even the next day, this woman, her eyes were just full of tears, and she hugged me for what felt like minutes. And she just kept saying, "Thank you. Thank you." I felt like I needed that. And it was 2.5 minutes. And so, she just felt like she's being led back to connection with horses. And I think more importantly, connection back to her heart. So it was an experience I'll never forget. And people came from all over the world for that conference and have since, and this is a great segue, been looking at our events page to see where Rescued Hearts is going to be, because of course now they want to see it. So we are very excited to announce our next screening on Sunday in Los Gatos, California is officially sold out. So we have 240 people coming together for that this weekend. And then you can see here that we have events in Florida, Orlando, and Tampa. We have an event coming back to Arizona. We shared the film here. This is where we live. On 11/11, and it sold out in almost 300-person theaters. So we decided to launch another screening, and that's going to go really well in Scottsdale.
Well,
And
that
then,
event did sell out, and we just upgraded the theater.
yeah, we may have had to add 70 more seats to the Scottsdale event. So now we're maxed out at the theater, and we're just excited for those who feel called to watch the film. So there are so many other events. We actually have already completed 27 events in only 6 months of last year, and we have 17 events booked for the first 6 months of this year. So if you want to check out all the different places that Rescued Hearts is going to be with Chrisanna and I present, you can check out our website on the events page. So the URL is there. So we'd love to
Yeah,
see
and
you.
we're going to, I saw in the chat, we're coming to Kauai. Yeah, there's so many cool places. And also we're going to Sedona, and Michelle Peterson is going to have a workshop the day after, like an immersive experience with horses. And that for sure is going to sell out because it's limited spots. So anyway, check out our other events because there's some really beautiful things in the works. And we're even adding to this list regularly. But what I wanted to share that some people have asked us about is that 2026, we're calling our 2026 World Tour, but we are continuing to put all of our energy and focus into these community events, these community screenings. Throughout the entire year. We anticipate being able to share the film internationally, but this is our focus throughout the entire year. It's not just going to stop at any point. So I wanted to share that because I think it really matters, and we need support to make that happen. So Dana, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so one of the beautiful things about Rescued Hearts traveling the world and sharing about the healing power of the horse-human connection and having so many sold-out screenings is that we are able to elevate an organization or a person or anybody really that feels aligned with our message and wants to join us on the journey. So we've had previous virtual offerings and our in-person screenings, and we're looking for, presenting sponsors, community sponsors that we can elevate alongside the film. And we've already had incredible feedback. We had an equine insurance agent actually sponsor one of our events in Arizona and got people calling that needed his services. We like to connect people that just need each other. We're just honored to do so. And the reason that we ask for sponsors is because it helps us get the film into more communities and more places that we wouldn't be able to do without the support. So there's a huge amount of people, even in Europe, the UK, other countries, and those that don't have the funds to bring us and the film out there. So if we can raise sponsorships, we can actually get the film into more places like that without a host being there to take on that responsibility. So we would love to have your support. If you are interested, you can email me, dana@livewildfilms.com.
And I do want to add that we definitely want to go to Australia. We are very excited about our screening in Ontario. And yes, we want to come to Mexico. I just love all the activity. I'm not seeing all of it, but yeah, there are countries that are absolutely calling Rescued Hearts, and we're very much setting a lot of intention around how to make that happen. So thank you all for just being on the journey with us. It's very exciting. And we sort of, like I said before, we just follow where the energy leads. And that being said, we are transitioning to making the film even more widely available. So far, Dana and I have been, we have made it so that if we're sharing the full film, we've had to be there. And we're learning a lot in that process. But starting May 1st, we'll transition so that all events can share either the first hour or the full film. And right now, the first hour is available, and people are using it, and they're able to build, really beautiful experiences with the first hour. And we see the full film as sort of like its own experience, and it's quite immersive. It's quite powerful. So, yeah, if you're interested in anything, or maybe you're just curious, and you're like, I know I want to do something with the film. I don't know what it is. That's okay. Just go ahead and fill out a form on our website, because in the next few months, we're going to have our stuff really sort of more aligned and easier to understand. We're working very, very hard on this. And so we'd love to, just have your information to be able to reach out to you and say, okay, now we're ready. Go ahead and book the full film and that kind of thing. Or perhaps we can even answer any questions you have right now. And then I want to talk about what we're doing today. We had this idea, we wanted to share the film, but we thought, there's something really powerful about gathering together in community and doing it more regularly. And so this we feel is the first of a monthly gathering that we'd like to do this year. Every month, and sometimes perhaps we'll sort of dig in with hosts and talk about events, and other times, I think most of the time we'll be highlighting those who are in the film and having conversations with them and having, you all having the ability to talk to them and ask them questions, and really kind of feel into the magic that is those moments in the film that land very beautifully. So I share that because I wanted to share the next 2 months of events that we're doing. So next month, on February 11th, we're calling it The Power of Community Screenings. And just today, I was talking to one of the hosts that I want to highlight during this call, our friends at Equanimity in Tucson. And I said, what was the impact after your screening? And they said, we had some really beautiful things happen. But one of the things that we realize now is that in the 30 days, so with the film event and the 30 days following, we raised more money in that 30 days than we had been able to raise in 2 years. I couldn't believe it when they told me that. And I will tell you that they are beautiful teachers, even in kind of the intention that they set around sharing the full film in Tucson. So we're really excited to have a few hosts with us to talk about best practices and kind of their learnings and outcomes. And it's really for anyone and everyone who's like, I'm interested in bringing the film to my community. And then, and there's a link on there because I already added a registration page. If you just want to do it now, you can. No pressure. We'll share about it again. And then the following month, March 11th, we're very excited to have our friends Patrick and Avery with us, calling it Connection Through Liberty. They might want a different title, so we might change that. But they just had twins, and so I couldn't even believe they were willing. I think it may only be one of them because of the babies. But either way, that is a very, very powerful scene in our film. And so we're excited to just kind of ground with them, maybe even watch a bit of that scene and, give you the ability to ask questions and that sort of thing. So
I think
are we
that's
ready?
it. Yes, we're
Wow.
ready. And I'll just share, Chrisanna, while you're getting the short film prepared, that this came out of a really interesting circumstance. We were reflecting on our year and what's ahead of us around the new year. And unfortunately, I ended up getting really sick and spent like 2 weeks not feeling well. And that's not like me. We had the busiest year of our lives last year, and I never got sick once. So I feel like it was our way of slowing down. And during that time, Chrisanna started to create. She started to edit. She's like, I don't think this is just an email. I think there's something else that really wants to be birthed, like creatively through me. And I will never forget when I watched it. I've only seen it once. I wanted to see it again in our community in this setting. And I just cried. It was so powerful. And I cannot wait for you all to see it. So Chrisanna, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, and I'd just add to that. Thanks for what you said. I knew that I wanted to make something that was a reflection of the last 6 months, but it was like it just felt deeper than an Instagram reel and deeper than an email. And the truth is, as Dana was kind of recovering, there was a morning that I felt like the 6 months that we had been in this, let's call it a tsunami, I felt like for the first time I was sort of considering all of it. And I felt like my heart was going to explode. I don't know how to put words to what it is that we've been experiencing, but if I could bring you into every room that we've been in, if I could invite you into the space where people are showing up and they have no idea what they're about to watch, but they know the trailer did something for them and activated them in some way. And if I could give you the perspective that I have when I walk to the front and I look at every eye in the room and I can tell that something has changed in them. like fundamentally, something is different. Even if it's just that for the first time they allowed themselves space to feel, or allowed themselves space to look at something in the past that's really been hard for them to look at. And I didn't intend to say all these words. I feel that what I'm about to share with you says all this. So sorry about that. But I guess what I'm saying is I wish that I could give you that, because it is rocking me. And I don't even know what to do with it except to share it and to say, this is so powerful. This is so big. This is a film that was made by the collective for the collective. Can we do this together? And I know that Dana and I can't do it alone. And so this film isn't an ask. It's not us trying to get you to do anything. It's really just allowing you this picture, this window into our lives, and giving you also moments of the film itself. I wanted to share moments that maybe some of you have never seen. If you haven't seen the film, you've never seen these moments. And in this way, I hope that you feel a little taste of what it is that that we've been sort of gifted with holding so sacredly and so so tenderly, because it is such a great gift, and it is something that deserves a lot of care and a lot of intention. And so we hope to give that to you in this space. And also, what an honor that you would take the time to be with us and to watch this together. So as I share this with you, I just say thank you for being here. And I love each and every one of you. And what I know is that in these rooms where the film is shared, love wins. And that is an incredible experience. And it's one of the greatest gifts of my life. So without further ado, I will bring to you this short film. I thought I was making a film about horses, only to realize it was something much more. I wouldn't have ever called myself a horse person, although Dana tells me I am. Throughout over 2 years filming them, I often felt pretty nervous being around horses. Most days of filming, I felt grateful to be behind a camera, as it allowed me to focus on the beautiful moments instead of the anxious energy in my body. When I began editing hundreds of hours of footage for Rescued Hearts, the truth is, I felt a bit like an imposter. I knew this was a story that needed to be told, but I felt like a really unlikely filmmaker to be telling it. And yet somehow I also felt a deep calling to see it through to completion. Many days, as I stared at a screen for hours on end, sorting through so many sacred moments, often tears would roll down my cheeks. I couldn't put words to it at the time, but something was happening in my heart. When I looked into the eyes of the horses we had filmed, I felt a powerful energy come through the screen. I began to see a tapestry weaving itself through each story, and I trusted the nudges I felt along the way. One day, I heard the words, "What you are about to see is a collection of stories, a collection of hearts, and a testament to the magic that happens when we open ourselves to possibility, to the unseen, and to the unknown." And these words became the beginning of our film. At our world premiere in May at the Illuminate Film Festival, for the first time I watched people watching Rescued Hearts. As the credits rolled, the audience rose to their feet in a standing ovation. The applause continued for what felt like eternity, and I was overcome with emotion. In that moment, all I felt was love, and I saw firsthand just how universal this film truly is. Over the next 6 months, we traveled nearly nonstop to over 25 cities, from South Africa to Canada, from California to Virginia, and so many beautiful places in between. We watched hearts open, awareness grow, and love win. We attended one sold-out screening after another, from theaters to covered arenas to large performing arts venues. I was in awe when Rescued Hearts received 4 major awards at film festivals, including Best of Festival and Best Documentary. Over and over, we witnessed the power of this film being experienced in community, and we realized that this isn't just something to be watched, it's something that's meant to be felt.
It can be a bit intimidating to be in the face of that much power and not knowing which direction it's going to move, where it's going to go. but it can also be intimidating to feel that much love.
After a screening in Hawaii, a woman approached me. She told me she had come because her partner was a horse person, and she assumed the film wouldn't really be her kind of movie, but she wanted to be supportive. And then she looked at me and said, very seriously, "You know, this actually isn't a film about horses. Your film helped me remember who I am." For a while, I didn't even know what to say. She had just put words to something that I had been feeling, because that's what creating this film did for me.
I thought about how the more human I feel, the more of a horseman I become. And how being a horseman to me means allowing a horse to be so special that I see myself in the horse, and then I love the horse so deeply because the horse is me learning how to love myself in relationship with people, responding to others in time.
As we share the film city by city and country by country, our intention is simple: to spread more love, more hope, and more healing. Community screenings will be at the heart of 2026. We have so many events scheduled. We have even more being scheduled. And we're planning to block out time to do several international tours in countries such as Australia, New Zealand, the United Kingdom, Germany, and hopefully many more. We're also planning to share the full film for the first time virtually during a week-long event sometime this April. This will be a worldwide offering, and we're hoping to have several language translations completed by then. And because we're filmmakers at heart, we have felt called to go deeper with a couple people in our film. We'll be sharing more as those films continue to take shape toward the end of this year. And because we receive so many messages from many of you who are looking to connect with those in your area or even in your country, we've decided that it's time to look into ways that we can create a space for that connection virtually. And the more we've talked about this, the more excited we've gotten, because it would offer us a way to share our hearts more personally, to provide a space for those who want to bring a screening to their area, where we can have monthly calls and even share exclusive content that we don't feel ready to share publicly, and really just to learn and grow from each other.
The work with the horses, their work, is all about the heart, is all about love. And even when I'm sending or working with light language, that is the language of love. So when I'm sending, it's all love. When I'm receiving, when I'm channeling, it's love. It's safe to express. You are safe to be. You are safe.
For now, we just wanted to say that we're so grateful to each and every one of you who has been on this journey with us, for everyone who has believed in this film before we even shared a single clip, for those of you who watched the sneak previews and felt the heart. It means everything. And so, thank you. This journey is not easy, and it requires all of us, every bit of energy that Dana and I have. And yet we feel it's a calling, that our souls are here to do this, to share this film with the world, because we see how it's helping people. People have told us that they watched part one with their partner and they think it saved their marriage. Others have told us that they didn't realize how much they needed to look at trauma and pain from the past, and how they now feel ready to find a place where they can connect with horses and do that work. Many others have shared that now they see their connection with horses differently, their own horses, and that they want to show up more heart-led, more from a place of love. But it's really making a difference. It's helping a lot of people. So we're going to stay focused on that mission that we feel called to. And, the mission is collective. The mission is community. So what a gift it is to be on this journey together. Thank you, thank you, thank you for caring. And thank you for wanting to share. Thank you for every bit of encouragement and love and support. We're so grateful. I feel like you just listen to my voice a lot. So maybe Dana, you can share.
Yeah. No, I'm happy to. I think it's really hard to find the words sometimes after experiencing what we have since we released the film in May of last year. Like, that's just a snippet of what we experienced. And I think it's just really surreal to be here today and to have people that really care about this community and this film. We cannot thank you enough for every person that in November of 2022 and on, when we started filming for Rescued Hearts and sharing our journey on social media and building this community, the people that have invested time, money, energy, and their hearts on this journey with us and have had to be so patient with us because we know that you want to see the film, and there's nothing more than we would like to do than to release the full film sooner than we have. But it was important that we did this release of the film the way that we did it so that we could go to film festivals and stay eligible for awards and the recognition and to get, I think, the credit that this film really deserves after spending 2.5 years to create it. And so thank you for your patience with us. We cannot wait for you to see the film, hopefully and mostly at in-person events throughout 2026, but also at our virtual offering in April. So thank you.
Thanks for feeling it. You know, it was pretty vulnerable as I thought about sharing this because I just was like, that these are just words that I feel in my heart. And then as I was recording it, something happened in my heart and I started just speaking. I had written the beginning, but at the end, those were not words I had written. Those were just words I was feeling. And yeah, it was like a really beautiful thing to allow myself to fully feel and not just be in the doing of releasing the film, but to actually feel it. And then for you to all feel it with me. Thank you for, I didn't catch your name who said this, but I just read, thank you for the person who said it feels like coming home. Because when that woman told me what she did in Oahu, and she looked at me and she had tears in her eyes and, you know, you just saw it. But when she said, your film helped me remember who I am, I had no idea that a film could even do that. But I knew that it did it for me. So it just felt important to share that. So thank you. It's amazing to consider the power of music. And I can't tell you how many times we share the film, even the people that watch the trailer, that are like, oh my God, what is this music? Like, yes, your film is beautiful, but what is like, where did you find it? And I'm like, oh, I did not find it. Brianna came to us through some kind of incredible divine connection. And I'm just so grateful that she's here. And I'd love to learn more about how the song came to be because I feel there's a deeper story there. But Brianna, you know, Brianna Tam, she's a dear friend and she really put her entire heart. She's a genius, but she put her entire heart into the music of our film. And then it was very interesting and incredibly fun to realize that she had actually written a new song after the film was done because the journey, it seemed like, was still continuing in her heart. And she wrote it with a dear friend of hers and someone who's become a dear friend of ours as well, Myra Chu. So anyway, Brianna, if you would, I would just love to hear from you. I'd love to hear anything you're feeling in this moment and also sort of how that song came to be.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you for having me here. And thank you to everyone for being here. I responded to some of the comments about the music, but I really appreciate your heart and your kind words here. Yeah, so I guess this piece came to me and Myra after the first screening in Illuminate in Santa Barbara. It's like one thing to experience the film and to compose for it and kind of be in that like work zone. And it's another thing to go to a screening, especially the premiere, and like see the filmmakers and see everybody there and like experiencing it for the first time and seeing how it lands with people. And, you know, it was really powerful. And you could see like in the short film when people were just like applauding for what felt like forever. Like there's definitely the most powerful screening I've been to of any film. And Myra and I were talking after, and we were like, we just wanted to capture and like honor this experience because we both work in the film industry. Like we work on a lot of different projects and trailers and whatever. And like, it feels like sometimes Myra put this beautifully when we were in Santa Barbara, but sometimes it feels like films or projects take something from you in exchange for money. And so that's kind of the transaction that's happening. But Rescued Hearts felt like the first project that we actually received something instead of it taking from us. And that was really beautiful and profound. And it's like, as you all know, like the film is amazing, but I think even if just Chrisanna and Dana talked for an hour, like we would all leave feeling better and feeling our hearts more open. There's just something so powerful about the two of you and the light that you bring. And it doesn't have to be horses. It could literally be like anything. And it just like people leave feeling expanded. So that being said, I feel like we just wanted to honor that experience as a whole and not just the film, because like the music that I wrote for the film was definitely for each scene, but I wanted to just like, yeah, pay homage to our friendship, this experience. And also, so Myra did all of the like mixing and mastering on the music, but when you think about soundtracks, you don't usually think about like who mixed it, you think about the composer. And this would not have been possible without Myra. She put in so much work, so much of her heart into this. And I wanted to find a way for her to be a part of that too. So yeah, I asked her to write this bonus track with me so that we could both be composers and share our full hearts in the music. So that's how this came to be.
Oh, I love you so much, Brianna. And I'm excited to share this photo I'm about to share. But first, Myra, I'm curious for you. What was it like? And by the way, Myra, I know that you went above and beyond. And it was so fun to work with people who just are invested with their whole hearts, because that's how Dana and I operate. And so that's sort of like our determining factor now. As we worked with you both, we're like, we're not messing around. We want people who work with their full hearts. And so, Myra, I was wondering for you, what was it like to work on this film? Because you're not even a horse person either. You're like a city girl, right?
Well, hi everyone. I'm Maya. I love horses actually. Actually, horses were my favorite animal growing up, and also I'm born in the year of the horse, so like it's like I love horses. But yes, I am a city girl, so I grew up in Singapore, and then like there isn't really much access to, to horses in a way that's healthy for the horse. So I did a little bit of riding growing up, but like I was like, this is terrible. I just made me so sad looking at the horses, so I just stopped. But my experience with the film, I mean, it's life-changing. I spoke to you guys about it as well. I think it came to me at a time where like I really needed it, and so the message itself was very healing. So working on the film was amazing. And I mean, Brianna's music, as a string player myself, as a violinist, it was like so refreshing to hear like a score with so much strings, and just like the way she approaches the music, I just loved it already. So I think maybe that's also why it just wasn't draining, and I was learning so much from the process and then from you guys. So yeah, it was great.
Wow, I love this because I didn't even know all that about you. Like I didn't even realize that you had ridden horses when you were younger, and it's so
Yeah, my
fun.
favorite animal. And I guess, I mean, I don't say that often, but it's true.
Well, and you're the year of the horse, and this is the year of the fire horse. So this is a big year for you.
The
It's a big
year.
year for Dana as well. She's also the year of the horse. I have to share this photo for both of you to reflect on, because I feel that, didn't this happen before you wrote this extra song? So first of all, just context, like Brianna just sent us these photos, and or maybe we saw it on social media. I don't know if you sent it to it. You didn't even tell us you were doing this, but we were like, what are you guys even doing? And they went and had this beautiful time at Free Reign. Obviously, Free Reign is in our film. We love Justine, but I'm so curious, like what called you to bringing your instruments to the horses, and what was that like for you?
So before I worked on the film, some of you may know I went to Free Rein to just work with the horses, see what that was all about. And I'll admit that I was pretty timid because that was the first time I'd really been around horses. And I mean, they're big creatures. And it was just really interesting because like I went with somebody who was more extroverted and the horses like kind of gravitated to him more. And so the second time around, I was like, let me go back. I'll bring Myra, we'll bring our instruments, and let's just see if the music connects with the horses at all. And it was interesting because like when I showed up, I had a different energy about me because I had my music and I had a purpose and I'm like, I'm going to share this thing with the horses. And I felt like the horses like gravitated to me more. So it was an interesting reflection for me. But yeah, I think we just wanted to see like how they reacted because I know like music is just energy and sound. And yeah, the horses kind of just like one of the horses was named Zen, so he was just literally like zenned in, and he like had his face like pressed against mine at one point, and then the other one was like kind of like nipping at the skull of my cello, but they were just like locked in the whole time, and it was really interesting because I think sometimes the volunteers wanted to like tell them like don't do this, don't step on their like equipment, don't get in the way, but at a certain point they just stepped back like pretty far away, and it was just me, Myra, and the two horses, and they were locked in, like they were totally mesmerized, I think. So it was like really beautiful and interesting to see how that connects with beings other than humans. And if we had more time, I wish we could have played for all the horses there because I think those horses really enjoyed it, and we're hoping to go back and do more. So yeah.
Well, and I think what happened is we were like, I'm sorry. Can you just wait until the next time we're in LA so that we can film that? That is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I love how you put words to that, even when, we were chatting earlier and you were talking about just showing up, even feeling more embodied. I can relate to that because in our filmmaking journey, I had a lot of timidness around horses, which I realized like it seems that horses simply amplify whatever is our baseline. And so that anxiety that I felt was sort of an amplification of like how I was operating all the time. So it gave me some clues to what I could start to look at and maybe areas that I could start to love. But I just loved how you said that because for me, it was having my camera. That was the space in which I felt most embodied and like I was a witness to something and like I was constantly in the miracle zone, like the place in which these powerful moments unfold, and I felt this honor to document it, which kind of settled the noise and the voices that sounded like fear. So I just honor that in you and how you brought your instrument. And Myra, I wonder what that was like for you being out, with your expensive equipment.
Oh yeah, I mean, having my mic there was kind of stressful, especially. I mean, when we got there, I mean, you all know horses. There's like poop everywhere, and then there's also like pee everywhere. And so Brianna and I were like, okay, so how are we gonna set up all our equipment on this turf? But the free rein people were amazing. They brought a nice mat for us. So I mean, the horses were amazing. I basically pestered Brianna, being like, hey, you got to experience it before working on the film. I did not experience it. Like, everyone's experienced it. Why are you not letting me? So Brianna was very nice, and then she arranged it. It was an amazing experience. I'll do it again anytime. I'll do it all day, any day. It's great. Yeah.
I love this. And, I'm just so grateful that you all took the time to come. And I'd love to just ask you both if you can, share whatever is on your heart that you want to share anyway, but also because now you've seen the film at two events. So you saw it at Illuminate, and then you came and performed at the event that we had with Free Rein. I'm not sure that I gave that song context, but Brianna and I were actually performing at a screening that we were doing, which was so profound. Oh my God. And we had no idea that they were about to perform this song we had not heard. And intuitively, I guess, I just brought my camera and I thought, well, if our friends are performing, why don't I just film? And so I was so grateful when I had hit record on that. But I wonder then, as you've seen the film now live at 2 events and obviously had this interaction with horses in a beautiful way, just like what you're feeling, whether it's about the film or about our connection with nature, anything that you want to share as we kind of wrap up.
Yeah, I think y'all just set the bar really high for me, at least. Um, yeah, I actually saw this short film for the first time when I was in Japan about 2 weeks ago. And I love Japan, but it's a very like, things have to be a certain way. So I was kind of like used to this culture of like, okay, we say this, you bow after you talk, like all these customs. And I didn't realize how much I was kind of like closing up. And then I saw this film, like the short film, while I was like at a restaurant, like eating ramen, and I was being really quiet and being small and keeping to my space. And like seeing the short film just like brought me back to my heart in a way that I haven't experienced since I had been in Japan. And I got really emotional because I'm like, wow, this is the effect of what the two of you do. It's like it reminds people who they are, it reminds us like of our connectedness and of our hearts. And yeah, so when I say like you set the bar high, I mean in terms of like not just projects that I work on, but the people that I allow into my life and the energy that I am around and the energy that I embody for myself too. Because yeah, I just realized like how small I was making myself and how it was kind of tearing me up inside, but I wasn't fully aware of it and just like feeling like come like return to my heart. It was like a relief. So yeah, there's been like films that I've had to turn down since working on Rescued Hearts because it'll be like horror, thriller, drama, and I'm like, I can't. I've done horror films, and it's a totally different experience than working on something like this where you feel like excited and like expansive every time you sit down to work on it. So thank you for ruining me and for setting the bar so high. Yeah, those are my reflections.
It is our great honor, but also you have ruined us. I just, we have some films in the works, which we'll share more about, I think, toward, later this year. And we're already like, okay, well, Brianna's doing the music. Brianna and Myra, this dynamic duo. Like, of course, you have to be part of the music. So thank you for that reflection, though. It means a lot.
Thank you.
Myra, I would love to hear your heart as well.
Yeah, the bar is so high now. It's way too high. It's not good for my bank account. Just kidding. No, it's great for the heart though. I'm very thankful. I think if anyone hasn't watched the film in this community, like please go watch it in its entirety when you can. It's really like transforming. I mean, I'm a city girl and like I'm so disconnected from nature just because I didn't have access to being part of nature or like connecting in that way. But because I was able to watch this film, because I worked on the film, I feel like it really like touched a part of me that allowed me to know what that connection was, and more than that, like be curious about it. So I'm really thankful for the film. That's my reflection, I think, like just like wow. Like I can't believe that it's only been a year since I got to know both of you and Dana, Chrisana, and it's a crazy ride. I'm so excited to see what more that you do with your media, because like you've really shown me how powerful media can be in a good way, but also like because it can be so good, I'm also like wow, it can also be really bad. So I think that's also why I'm like so selective on working on things now. Yeah, because of you. Thank you.
I adore you both. Like I didn't actually think I could love you anymore, and my heart is exploding. Myra, oh my God, thank you for everything that you just said. And I do believe that even if sometimes we have to make choices in the name of loving ourselves better, that abundance follows that. And so, there's a lot of beautiful energy, and I think this is the time. I think people are really wanting more of that. And when I hear the music that you guys do, I don't know any other place that I can listen to music and feel what I feel. And so, thank you for what you shared, and I feel very similar about you both, and just gratitude for you taking the time. It's cool to have a window into the artist's perspective outside of myself in creation around the film and how its energy doesn't know any limits, which is so fun. And I have to also say this. We forgot to introduce our dear friend, Sue Willoughby. And maybe we could hear from you quickly, Sue. But Sue's been in the chat. She's been helping us on the back end. And Sue actually she did an event with us. She was at Illuminate, and we did an event together. And she's just become a dear friend. And she's been helping us because Dana and I realized we need some extra help. We can't do this on our own. So you've probably seen her name come up. But Sue, do you want to say hi? And then we'll move into Q&A.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Chrisanna. I am thrilled to be here, and my heart is just open as well every time I see the film, and it's been a number of times. And so I'm really thrilled to be part of this community and to be in the background and help you and support you in any way that I can.
Well, you are in the foreground of our hearts. There is no background here. But it's just so fun to have your energy and your support, and it really fuels us. And so what a gift. And we're so grateful for your help. And I wanted to add something fun is that I'm going to share this graphic because I made it. Our soundtrack is coming soon. Thank you, Brianna and Myra. They have been working on this, and we're so grateful to them. We're interested in timing it with the virtual release that we plan to do in April. So the specific details are still to be determined, but I wanted to share that we're really excited about that coming out.
First of all, I'm so grateful for Myra and Brianna for sharing, and I'm excited. We're actually going to end the call tonight with a little clip of the song again, so you can really feel the energy of the music. I also put their Instagram handles. That's where they mostly are, but also they have websites. If you want to connect with them in any way, please do so. And yes, thank you, Sue, for helping us in the background and in the foreground. We're so grateful. So for those of you who don't know, because you haven't seen even the first hour of the film yet, which we did have a virtual screening not long ago, actually, in early December, my dad is a really big part of the film, actually, and he had a health crisis not long ago. He ended up with pneumonia and sepsis, and I thought we were losing him. It was really challenging. I am grateful to say he's on the road to recovery after 2 months in the hospital and rehab, and he's slowly getting stronger and better. And if he's well enough, he's going to come to our screening on February 7th in Scottsdale. He's not seen the film in a theater before, so we'll see. Hopefully he's able to make it. But thank you for asking. You know, our time with our loved ones is so precious, and we never know when it's going to end. And so I'm truly grateful that he's still with us. Thank you for asking.
Someone asked, I love this question. They said, is there anything, Renee, thank you for asking this. Is there anything we can do to help and support you now? And I would say it's just this. And also, following your heart. So, if your heart is calling you to something, if you're feeling like, well, I just really feel like somehow I want to bring the film to my community, then certainly reach out to us about that. If you're wanting to just share the trailer on your social media, or, if you want to share anything, or even if you text a friend, like, I just want you to know about this film, and here's the link to the trailer, and, follow if you feel compelled. Well, I don't know however you want to say that, but as we get closer to the virtual release, we will be sharing kind of like a promotional toolkit, like assets where you can blast about it and have your friends join. It's not quite ready yet, but I think ultimately just you being here and feeling it with us means a lot. And any way that you want to share? I think we underestimate the power of texting. Even these events we're doing right now, the people there, we're finding that most of the people buy a ticket because they received a text message from someone they knew. And sometimes social media is great and email is great, but sometimes, we can get lost in the noise. So for those of you who want to share the trailer, thank you so much. At the very least, if the link gets confusing, it's on the homepage of our website. And if you just click, the little YouTube part, the truth is just sharing the homepage of our website is a great thing, is a great link to share, because then people can kind of dig in to more of the story behind the film. They can see events, they can see what's coming next. If you want to look awesome, we have merch, just saying. Uh, so check out our store. All of it goes to support the film. We're very, very interested in doing as many screenings as possible, and even being intentional as the film gets out further and further, and providing access and bringing the film to places that would really struggle otherwise. So we're sort of in a learning process right now, and then we're just following the inner guidance system that we all have, and trusting the power of the heart.
Okay, so Caitlin, what would you say to yourselves back in the beginning, like our own words of wisdom? I love that question because it seemed impossible for Krisanna and I alone to create what now is an award-winning film that is touching hearts all over the world. And at the time, we didn't know what was going to happen with the story. We didn't know what was going to unfold, and we didn't have the money to stop working to create a documentary. And so I would say, like, the words of wisdom I have for my previous self back in the beginning, which I think I really followed and would continue to share with others today, is when something is so deep within you, like there's this yearning, this calling, this feeling that you cannot ignore, that something needs to be created. It's like, trust that feeling, take the jump, and like the net will appear. All of the support that we didn't know was out there came to us like at the right time and in the perfect way to keep us going on our journey. So I would say just trust the process, but most importantly, trust your heart, trust your intuition, trust the inner guidance that you're receiving. Yeah. And I would say this will answer another question that was asked about why we even created this film. What was the motivation? And if you weren't here in the very beginning, I shared that I still do actually volunteer when I'm home on Saturdays, but I've always been drawn to horses. Krisanna was never around them. And so anytime I had a chance to do something, I'll call it for myself, I really started volunteering because that's what gave me life. To be around horses, to be around people that I could help in some way through that incredible healing partnership. And I will tell you that I would come home and I would just talk Krisanna's ear off about all of the things and the people and the miracles I would witness, and how lives were being transformed and hearts were being opened just by being in the presence of these incredible animals. And so that was really the spark. I watched something happen that I didn't know was possible. A 7-year-old boy was in a session with me, and he was diagnosed with autism, and he had never spoke a single word in his life up to age 7. And the night that I was there volunteering, he spoke his first words. And so that did something to me fundamentally, like at a cellular level, that is not something that you experience and then just forget about. So that was really the spark. And then just starting to volunteer again in the last couple of years. This film was ready to be created. I think the horses were ready for this film to be created. So thank you for those questions. Throughout this experience, what's had the most impact on you too? Oh my gosh, like that is such a big question. And I feel like the people we've met, I mean, we've met so many people in so many places, and it's like finding that many human beings with such open hearts and connection to horses, and then their desire to bring this film into their communities has absolutely rocked my world. So I would say over the last, oh my gosh, 6 months plus, stepping into spaces where people are quite literally like spending so much time and energy to be in a space of community to just watch something on a screen. And that thing that they watch is the thing that is our hearts outside of our bodies that we created over the course of 2.5 years. And I think I'm just forever in awe. I'm most impacted by how what we created is rippling through the world, helping horses, helping humans, just like Karen said, just like Equanimity in Tucson, raising more awareness and money for their organizations that are dedicated and the people who have literally dedicated their lives to helping others in partnership with horses. It's blowing my mind how the film is being received and how it's helping. So that's my answer. I don't know, Chrisanna, if you have something else to share.
I love that. Well, I love you, brother. My brother's so special. I mean, him and his wife and their little baby, they're like our cheerleaders. And the fact that you're on this call, I can't even, my heart is going to explode.
Your mom is here too.
Oh, Mom, I love you so much. My mom is also a major cheerleader of ours. And so, those behind the scenes humans that are like, you guys got this, keep going on our hard days. Mom, I just love and appreciate you truly. And also Courtney Brown, I love and appreciate you. I saw your comment and thank you for asking this. The truth is we sort of just teased the community right now, but we are putting a lot of time and intention into finding a way. We think we have the tech side of it figured out, and Sue's helping us too, but finding a way where we can create a space, number one, for hosts to be able to connect with each other. We have people in different countries that are like, man, if I could just talk to the other people interested in bringing the film, I would really like to do that, or brainstorm or whatever. So we want the community to kind of be have a back end space for that, for hosts to share ideas, connect with people, and also to have the community itself, for there to be a space where people are processing whatever's just come up for them as a result of watching the film. And even if they say, yeah, I'm looking for someone in my area, we don't want it to be salesy or having too much promo stuff in there, but finding a delicate way of creating connection where people can share their hearts and also just find each other, build bridges between organizations and practitioners. And so we want to co-create it with you. And so we're sort of putting time into it on our end. And then next month, as we do the event community call, we're interested in people who have shared in the film and people who are wanting to share the film to sort of co-create that space with us, and just to get your ideas and thoughts around how we can make this something that is really meaningful and supportive and just help spread more love, ultimately, to spread more love, so that we have, in this regular gathering, we have that, but also in a space when something is coming up and you're like, man, I just caught wind of this and I would love to share it, or I just learned this, or whatever. So it's coming together. Thanks for asking, and we're excited to share more. And like I said, I think it's going to be a beautiful co-creation with this community.
I also really like I saw a comment in here from Renee, and she's looking for support, right? She had a traumatic brain injury and is in Orange County and wants to see if there's anybody out there that can, provide some support or resources to help. And that's what we want, right? We want to bring people together to help one another. This is another way to spread love and healing in the world. And there are studies that show the longevity of a human's life. There are a lot of different factors, but community is one that literally extends our lives. And so that's part of what we want to bring to the world with Rescued Hearts. So thank you.
One thing I want to just sort of end our time with is, first, I want to share this again. For those of you who are just wanting to learn more about what it looks like to share the film, I did see a couple questions about that. This host a screening page, we've tried to put a lot of information in there. And of course, email us and reach out. But that host a screening page is a great resource. And then if you're just sort of wanting to get the ball rolling or wanting to look into possibilities, there's a form on there that you can fill out. And that's our way of kind of engaging with you, especially as we get some of these pieces together with making that process simpler and simpler. So I think that's it. Oh my God, this has been so powerful, so moving. And Victoria, I see your note about might we ever do a follow-up film? And so, yes, we teased that in this little video that I put together, but we are going deeper with Nishan Cook and Candace Webster. And that is for sure happening. We already have a couple years of filming with them, to be honest. It's kind of been underground. But we're wrapping up some of that filming this year, and I don't know what that will be. I don't know if it'll be a series, within their own stories, if it will be its own film. We're not sure. We were thinking they would be short films, but they may be a bit longer. So we see those as extensions of Rescued Hearts. And the truth is, we have like another big project in the works, but we're not starting it yet. Rescued Hearts is getting our full attention, and we'll see. We just want to create, we want to continue to create films that heal and that are sort of this medicine for the heart. So that's what we're excited about. And thanks for caring. Oh, what a gift to be together. Brianna and Myra, I adore you both. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Thank you for your genius and your brilliance and how you have poured your hearts into working on this film. And you know, that song, I just like, I listened to the first couple notes at the, you know, what we just talked about. I think that song you're calling the reprise. I listened to the first few notes and my heart is like very here. So thank you for the gift of being with us. I would love it. I think we're going to end. I think we're going to end with the song. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Dana, Brianna, Myra, Sue, does anyone have any final thoughts? Anything to share before we end with the song? You're good?
Thank you for having
Brianna.
us here. That's all. Yeah.
Thank you, Sue, as well.
Thank you. Thank you for everyone for being here. Yeah, that's it.
I love it. Well, we love you all so much. I love you, Mom. My mom's Lisa Joy. Oh my God, I love you so much. I'm going to go ahead and share. It's sort of like the end section of the song you heard at the end of the video. And as soon as the song is over, we're going to close. So what a gift it was to connect heart to heart, to have this sacred space. Dana, do you have anything else before I begin?
I am just honored to be among so many incredible hearts. And thank you for being part of this tonight. It really means the world to us for you to receive what we're sharing. So yeah. And with that, let's play the song.